Hello my friends, how are you all? So today we are going to learn that how are we going to build a notebook of 2 pages by using the Tkinter library. So before we begin, I want you to take a look that how far we have come. So basically this is the playlist that I have created. So our journey of learning Python begins here. So we have come so far. So first we have covered the basics, and then we have created, then after learning dictionaries we have learned the list comprehensions, and then we have moved towards the lambda expressions, and then we have covered some important functions, and then we have moved towards object oriented programming language. And currently we are working that how can we create widgets by using loops. So if you are going to watch this video for the very first time, I would highly recommend that you need to watch these 2 previous videos. So why? Because these video that I am going to create is linked with these previous 2 videos. Alright, so now let's get started. So for proceeding further, if you have come with me from all these way down here, let me know into the comment section. So now let's begin. So what we are going to do, basically we are using the tabbed control widget. We are using this to control the 2 pages. So the texture or the syntax is same as we used previously in previous 2 videos. So we have created widget that takes user information and printed on the screen. Alright, so today we are going to build a notebook as we have discussed. Now first we need to import Tkinter library as always. Alright, and then from Tkinter we need to import TTK. Now we need to create a win variable. So in this win variable we all know that we use TK to make our that should be TK not TL to create basically a Tkinter function that will run throughout, and all the syntax will be written inside this win variable. Now so I am going to name this application, this little application that I am going to make, I am naming it by using title. We have already discussed is this tab control. Alright, you can change it if you want to. If you want to write something, your name here, it will appear by using your name. Now I am going to create a variable notebook, and B is the short form of it. Now in this notebook function I am going to create a built-in function which is notebook in TTK library, Tkinter library of the Python. Now basically in this I am going to put this win variable, and then what we need to do, let's build the scenario in your mind. We need to create 2 pages, right? So each page need to be appear on the screen separately. So what we are going to do, basically I'm going to create a variable which is called p1, which means that page 1, and then I am going to use this frame method in order to cover the frame in the screen. Alright, it is just like that we have created label frames, and then I'm using this NB notebook. So I wanted to create this frame in this notebook, alright, in this page 1. Now what I need to do now, and there is a second page also, so which is the same. So I am going to do the same for it. The F must be capital, and I wanted to create it the same in the notebook. Alright, so basically these 2 pages, I want these frames to be created in the same notebook. So as we have discussed earlier that we are going to build a notebook of which consists 2 pages basically. Alright, now I now, after creating frames, I need to add these two pages into my notebook, which is representing here as NB variable. Now, what I need to do first is nb.add function. Alright, so basically this function I can use to add my pages. So first I'm going to add this page 1, and I can name this by using this text that it is 1. Alright, so basically it is the first page, and same I'm going to use this again, and I can p2 for the second page, and for the text I can just write here 2. Alright, now so these two pages must have to be added in my notebook NB variable. Alright, so now if we have discussed thoroughly that we need to, if we are going to add these two pages, it means that the first and the second page needs to be joined in one notebook. So we need to pack these pages. So for this I need to use this pack function. Alright, so in this pack function it takes two arguments. First I want it to expand, and the second thing I want to expand my both pages, so I need to write here both. Alright, so we have created so pack, which is taking two arguments, expand and fill. Alright, which is I need to expand these pages, and we need this filling on for both of our pages. Alright, so now we need to create a label for our page 1. So for our page 1 I am naming it label 1. So alright, label 1 is for page 1. Alright, so it is the same that we have created. So basically it is the same that we have created with our in previous videos. We are using the same label method. Alright, so in this label method first we need to put our page 1, which is p1. Alright, and I can text right here, what is this, that this is label 1, label 1. Alright, now I need to grid this label 1 into my screen. Alright, so we all know the grid function. Alright, it takes row and column, so I am using the row 0 and column is also 0 because it is our first label that I am using it on page 1. Basically remember this, page 1 is a separate page and page 2 is a separate page. Alright, just like the notebook we have in our just like the normal notebook, that it has separate rows and columns. If we are using the mathematics notebook, it has separate rows and columns for different of pages. Alright, so just imagine it in mind. Alright, so we are going to grid this row and 0, that it must be appear at the top right corner of the screen. Alright, now so we have created this label, so but we have not created the entry. So for this entry I am using E1 because it is the first entry of this label 1 of page 1. Alright, now we have already created entries in previous videos, so I hope you already know these functions that I am using right now. Alright, now P1, because all we are doing it right now is for the page 1 currently. Alright, so I want it width to be 26 is enough. Alright, now we need to grid this entry into the, so I can just copy it from here and I can just write it that E1. Alright, so we have already used the 0 column. The row 0 must be the same because we just want it to appear right after the label, so I can just put it into the first column. So that is how we can create our first label and first entry for our page 1. Alright, we need to close this main loop that we have just created. Alright, so now if I run this program, you can see it. There it is. Okay, this is label 1 basically, and I can write whatever I want. It will be going forever. Alright, so just, and label 2 is basically is empty. Alright, you can see that here. I hope it is visible that label 2, basically the page 2 is empty here. Page 1 has a label 1 and the entry, it is the column 1. Basically this is label 1 appear at the column 1 because it is the same row, and I hope it is making sense that it is the same row here. It is the first row and first column, and second, the entry is appearing at the second column, which is, it is starting from 0, so that 0 and 1. Alright, and now we have the second page. So now let's create the labels for the second page. Now the name, so let's just copy everything from here in order to save time. And after some gap that we are doing it for the label 2. So now let's just name it the label 2, and for this we needed to create it for page 2. Alright, so I can just say that this is label 2. Alright, now it is the second label, right? So it means that it has new columns and rows, so we don't need to change anything for these columns and rows. Alright, but we can grade it. We need to write the different variable for E2, which is entry 2. Alright, and I can just, rest can be the same. Alright, now again run this program. So we can see that in 1 this is label 1, and if I go to the second page, which is 2, yes, why the entry is not appearing? There is a problem because I did not change the page. So P2 basically represent the page, our page 2. So if I am running this program again and check, it is the label 1 and it is the label 2, and now label 2 has its own entry. Alright, so that is how we can create the tabbed widget by using these Tkinter library. It is super easy and more enjoyable to do these things. So if I want to create so many pages, I can just follow the same procedure, and I can create different pages with different labels and different entries from the user. I can also append here the submit button or the whatever the user want to take. Alright, it is very useful in the real world. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you still have some confusions, some questions, let me know into the comment section. So thank you very much for watching till now, guys. See you in next video. Till then, take care.